Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Niall. I'm a mental wellbeing coach. This is Mental Wellbeing TV. Thank you very much for joining me here today. I've got Instagram on over here. It's actually working today, so that's good. Hello, Instagram. Thanks for joining us. And what I'm going to be speaking about today is purpose, right? Because this is a question that was on my mind for a long, long time when I was growing up. Because I'm sure you've probably heard my story by now, in that I used to be really overweight, anxious, insecure, and just pretty unhappy in every part of my life. And I always had this voice in my head that was like, there must be something more to this. Like, I must be here to do something that's not this, because this isn't right. And I think it was that voice that led me to want to try and figure out what is my purpose. And I know I'm not the only person who has these questions in the head, like what is the meaning of life, like what is my meaning to life. And I've actually had some really revolutionary insights around that. And it was after I read this book, right? The Power, no, it's not The Power of Now, it's A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, over here for Instagram too. And this book changed my life. It changed my life because he makes the distinction between purpose. Because most people, I think this is a common misconception, is most people think that their purpose is in the doing. It's in for example, like I really do feel like my purpose right now is to be a mental well-being coach. But the sort of difference between that and what a lot of people do is that they believe all of their purpose is wrapped up in the doing. For example, a banker with banking or whatever. I feel like I'm not explaining it very well, but this is going to make it a little bit easier because this guy in this book, he makes a distinction between outer and inner purpose. Okay, so I think a good way to explain it, say a banker who he believes his purpose is being a banker, right? And he's doing his banking stuff. But at the same time, he's constantly in a state of resistance. He's constantly believing that he can only be happy once he's got through this day because this is my purpose and I just need to get through this because this is what I'm meant to do and I don't like my job, but this is my purpose. He's constantly finding enemies to the moment or obstacles that he has to overcome to get his happiness. Now, my question to that guy would be, have you really found your purpose if you're constantly resisting this moment? Because to me, it's not. Because this guy in this book, he makes the distinction between outer and inner purpose. And your inner purpose is your state of consciousness at this moment, your state of mind in this moment. And I think a really good way to help explain this would be to use so you can either have an inner yes or an inner no. And I just gave you a good example of an inner no there, being that the banker that, was constantly finding enemies to the present moment, to finding obstacles to overcome. Like, I can't be happy until I've did this thing, until I've finished this assignment or whatever it is. Whereas an inner yes would be to be at ease with what is now, to stop resisting what is. When that enemy comes in and you get that pang of stress or whatever it is, to realize when that's happening and to let go of that, to accept the resistance, to find inner acceptance. Because if you're constantly going through your life thinking what is my purpose in doing all this thing, and finally I found my purpose, but you're still in this state of inner resistance, then you haven't found your purpose. Because your inner purpose, your state of consciousness, what you put out into the world all of the time, your energy, your emotions, is primary, is always primary. Because it doesn't matter what you're doing, if you believe you're like Buddha, you're enlightened and you're doing the world's purpose, but you're giving out not good energy to the world, you're giving out resistance and unhappiness and dissatisfaction all the time, then that's not good, right? Because it doesn't matter what situation you're in, you can find some level of inner acceptance. Apologies, Instagram, that went off. Yeah, it doesn't matter what situation you're in, you can always find a level of inner acceptance. And even if you can't, accept that. Accept the fact that you can't find inner acceptance. Accept what it is, the resistance that is there. And there's three choices we can always have in a situation. We can either accept it internally, accept it externally, try and change it, or leave. So those are your options. And a good way to practice your inner purpose, because the inner purpose comes before the outer purpose for most people. It did for me. So find your inner purpose first, live by that, and your outer purpose will reveal itself. So a good way to practice that: meditate on a morning. Practice inner acceptance once a day, at least once a day. And also, don't only do it for that 5 minutes, for that 10 minutes when you meditate, but take that into every part of your life. Constantly remind yourself to accept internally, to give up resistance to what is, to the present moment, to life. Because nothing good comes into this world through resisting what is. Always accept. Always try and change situations that you don't want to be in, but do it from a place of internal acceptance. And if you want help with this, you want to help to let go of your resistance in your head, I've got an excellent guided meditation for you that you can get when you sign up for my email list, which I'm going to drop a comment in the comments section that you can get. Sign up for that. You'll get a guided meditation over there for Instagram too, if it's still on. The screen's went blank, but I'm sure it is. And that's everything. Yeah. Thank you very much for listening. I hope this has been valuable for you. Thank you. Have an awesome day. See you later.